it under different brand names, getting registration under Indian trademark. So it was infringement of trademark. And if all the pending litigation in America goes against the company, this company will become bankrupt overnight. So they knew this, and that's why they sold out this company to Daiichi of Japan. They made smart 10,000 crore overnight. Today they are the biggest buyer in the Indian market. They are buying, they purchased already Bogart hospitals. They are on purchase a lot of other hospitals. They have diversified into Religare. They have their number of medical laboratories. And with that kind of money, they can manipulate. So, question is, I think, for a body like this, the issue should be, what should be the sentiment, what should be the objective for takeover and mergers by corporates? To avoid environment pollution, which is a major issue. I think it's an issue concerning all parts of the world. Merger and acquisition should be done with a view to diversify location of companies to all those areas which come as per the government policy of no industry district. You know, we are, as per our industrial policy, certain districts has been declared by Government of India as no industry district, where government gives all the incentives. So they should acquire those small units which are finding it difficult to sustain of their own. Because merger and acquisition has certain advantages. They may help you to have better economy of operation. They may help you to, cut down unwarranted competition. Look at telecom, what is happening. Although it is beneficial to the customer right now, but a lot of new players will have to wind up. They can't sustain their operation economically. They can't make profit. And when they will become bankrupt, ultimately this public who has to pay the price. So, merger and acquisition to a certain extent is in the larger interest of the economy. There should be a fair amount of competition so that people get, customers get a good bargain. But having too much of competition again leads to a different kind of profit. So, what we have to see is that encourage those mergers and acquisitions which are based on economic principles of providing better services to the customer, providing better geographical coverage of the market, providing better products to the customer, and having equitable development in all parts of the world. Thank you very much.
I request Mr. Surendra Kumar Bakri to speak.
I am Advocate S.K. Bakri, practicing in Supreme Court of India. Though I am a civil lawyer, I am not so much competent on corporate law, but I will say some things so that at least I can appeal your heart at least. Thank you, President, sir. I am not the President because I was just makeshift man, but the real President is very he is a corporate giant. So, what I want to say, I will request my President here that he will give some more time to the floor because so many respected persons from the corporate law are sitting here and they will be giving some more time. For that reason only I said to my dear friend to speak a little bit less because of that only. Otherwise I could have said more time because I was not the President at that time. So what I want to say, sir, actually I am coming from a very religious background family. My father's elder father was why I am saying so, because so many experts will be saying and will be deliberating on that very core aspect. I am not an expert in that line. So I am saying something which will be very, very near to the corporate law, which we should have. One thing I appeal, I have read one of the articles in Indian Express, or in most of the papers were published, when the corporate war between the two, many brothers were there. There is an open letter. Now letters are coming frequently because of the Supreme Court cases are coming out. So there he said that the world is very, very rich, and for our greed, it is quite insufficient. And world can provide us many things. We have a very beautiful culture. We have very great resources. We have forest resources, natural resources, water resources. But because of our greediness, we are suffering. India is a very, very rich country, but because of perhaps we are not exploring the human capabilities, human knowledge and human values, so that some people are still remaining poor. I am coming from a poor state, but I am not poor in my heart. I am coming from Odisha, land of Lord Jagannath. The practicing here for the last 25 years in civil law, especially civil law. You see, this Jharkhand is a typical example. Here is because these are the things I am giving this idea so that you can develop it, because there is something that the industry has to take care. If it is the mergers and acquisitions are not really fulfilling the people's interest, people are not being grown out of from their poverty to the richness, then perhaps the mergers, acquisitions and the laws, Supreme Court, doing conferences, they come to nullity. Jharkhand people, they have had the vast resources of mining works. But you see the state of affairs there. Not I'm talking of the Goda affairs. I'm talking of the persons those are really living below the poverty line. They are God-fearing men. And in the last session where Mr. Justice Supreme Court Judge Chauhan was presiding, was saying that Right to Information Act, he was saying that the illiterate people are really the people, God-knowing people. It is the only we people, those who are quite educated, maybe lawyers, maybe doctors, maybe engineers, corporate giants. We use our law to manipulate for the benefit of ours, not the benefit of the people. So these are the some basic areas we are lacking. India is a country of great culture, great values, great religion. It is full of secular spirits. But we are seeing that terrorism is, we are the worst sufferers. The neighboring countries, you see, in India also, you see that Maoists, they are attacking. You see that the train blast day in and day out. These values we have to inculcate. Those corporate giants, those are coming for mergers and acquisitions. They may enrich their knowledge of their products. They can enrich the richness of our resources. But as long as we are not melting the hearts of our people, millions of people that are living below the poverty line, they are staying in the villages. They are staying in the very, very subhuman conditions. If at all will not change their characters, will not change their lifestyle. You see that in 5-star hotels, 7-star hotels are coming up now. They are living the life of different India. You go to the villages, you go to the small towns, they are living in a different India. So these are my appeal to all the corporate world and to this August gathering, that those corporate heads, maybe Ambani, maybe Tata, Birlas and other multinationals, those are operating in our country. And they are also welcome to this country, they can operate in the future also. They should really win the hearts of the people. As long as you are winning the hearts of the people, we are not a part and parcel of their lifestyle, then naturally things will not go in a better way. So my appeal to all the players here sitting here, they are all learned and very capable of knowing better things than most of the things of the world what is happening in the merger regime, acquisition regime. My greatest appeal to you all, sirs, that whatever profession you may be, maybe lawyers, maybe doctors, maybe in the corporate world, maybe any world if you are dominating, you are the lawyers. So please see that those who are living in the below poverty line, those are in the really have-nots. If you can make, if your industry can make something for them, then naturally your merger regimes or acquisition regime will really get exposed. Thank you, sir.
Very good.
Myself, Akshay Kumar Bista, Advocate Supreme Court. Good afternoon to friends and ladies and gentlemen. With the permission of the chair, I will stand to this topic and President asked me that you subscribe your speech for 4 minutes so that the learned friends who are sitting there, they can have the deliberations on this point. I am concentrating myself in 4 minutes. So far as this merger acquisition part is concerned, we see in India the most developing industries that we can see that is the steel industries. Initially in India, for the fact, what has been developed, the steel industries that is at Bhilai, Durgapur, Bokaro and Rourkela. All these has been set up at the government initiatives, and initially its name was Hindustan Steel Limited, and there was little bit of private partnership, and the entire control, the thing is controlled by the government of India. And thereafter, many initiatives have been taken by the government to merge all these units to one and rename to Steel Authority of India Limited. And if we see the public and the bigger bodies there, all the colleagues are there from the corporate world, they can have a good service for the client. And so far as this winding up procedure of the companies is concerned, our courts are nowadays very sensitive. But unfortunately, in almost all the high courts in India, the company court is sitting for one day. If I am correct, I may be corrected. If I am wrong, I may be corrected. For this author acquisition part, the company court in every high court, they are sitting for one day, that is after lunch in a week. So, all these company cases which are pending in different courts for this merger and acquisitions, that is also becoming a very hot point for discussion. Everywhere, it is not only in Delhi, it is happening also in Calcutta, in Mumbai, in Chennai also, in Bangalore also. And another thing is that we have to see for India, do we need the big industries, those who are coming to India in the name of settling the industries, but the ultimate end is that to guard the entire natural resources of India. You see, POSCO is coming with a budgetary allocation of 55,000 crores. They will invest in India. For what? They will have a Pohango steel company in India and they will produce the steel. But the ultimate end is that they want to take the entire natural resources. They don't have the intention to have their industries in India. They don't have the intention. They are coming, they are doing the agreement with the government, with the respective state government and also with the central government, that first we give up the rights for exploration of the mining exploration. We can blast the iron ore, the coal, and we can export it to our country. We will have our finished product there. Again we produce those products and sell it in India. Why not the unity in India? What are the difficulties? If we take the coal from India, so it is from Jharkhand, Bihar, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Andhra, the rich coal producing areas. Why not have your unity? And thing is that, most unfortunately, we the people are not able to understand. They are coming and they are doing the MOUs. But most important problem is that thousands of MOUs have been signed with the government. Once they are doing the agreement with the Chhattisgarh government, we will have their steel industries. When they are unsuccessful for acquiring the land, they are coming to the Jharkhand government. Let us have a signing with this. We shall sign the MOU. What happened? Now we have our industries. When they fail there, when they are to protest, they shift to Odisha government. Give us the permission for exploration of the coal, for exploration of the iron ore, and we'll have our agreement. But they did not think that how they can set up this big industries without power. Power is the basic infrastructure for the development of the industries in India. And so far as these sources of power is concerned, renewable and non-renewable. Now they are fully concentrating on non-renewable sources of energy, which once finished, that is finished forever. Then we shall be in a begging boat before the world community. We have to think of those who are coming to India for acquisition of the land for development of industries. Let them come and develop the infrastructure first. Roads, railways, power sector, all these infrastructural development should be done first. Thereafter the industry will develop ultimately. So, so thing is that when